First, say your names and how you're connected to the seminar tonight.
I'm Cindy Scheltmeyer from Columbia, and I follow anything pertaining to the Shroud, but in particular, Mark Antonacci let me know that this was going on tonight, so I made a point to be here.
And I'm Bobby Tracy. I live here in St. Louis, and this is my first event that I've attended.
When did you start getting connected with the term, the Shroud?
I learned about the Shroud back in the 70s, and I've been fascinated with it ever since. I knew, I think viscerally, intuitively, or I felt that this was indeed the burial shroud of Jesus, and I wondered why everybody didn't know about it. I thought, why doesn't everybody know about this shroud? And I've been learning of it, looking for new revelations about it ever since the 70s. And about 10 years ago, I learned about Shroud.com, which is one of the definitive websites pertaining to the Shroud. And through that, I got to know Barry Schwartz, who is the administrator of the Shroud, and he invited me to the Shroud conference in 2014, and that's how I got to know Mark Antonacci and Bob Rucker and Art Lind and some of the speakers who are here tonight, is through having attended the Shroud conference in St. Louis in 2014.
And you recently read Mark's book. Tell us about that.
Well, it was fascinating. My sister Cindy got me the book for my birthday and invited me to the conference. So that gave me about a month to pour through the book. And it takes some time to read it because it's very scientific, but it's described in a way that anybody can understand it. And it really opened my eyes, because I did believe it was the Shroud of Jesus, but the scientific evidence of why it's the Shroud of Jesus and what tests still need to be done to prove its age and refute the C14 erroneous dating.
And Cindy, you keep coming to the seminars, you keep following it all. I mean, you learn something new every seminar. I mean, why do you keep coming to the seminars?
Well, I'm a believer in the authenticity of the Shroud, and I come to the seminars simply because I like learning. Everyone that I come to actually tells me something maybe I didn't know before, or maybe I hadn't realized before. I always pick up something new at each conference, at each reading, at each stage of development. And I told my kids when they were little that someday science would catch up with this Shroud, but it may not be in my lifetime. Well, what's exciting is that we're getting closer and closer and closer to proving the authenticity of the Shroud, and I want to be a witness to that. And
Bobby, this was your first seminar, so what do you take away from tonight?
Well, that there's more to be done. Appreciation for all the work that these scientists have done and the sacrifices that they've made to test the Shroud, to get appeal to get it tested. A lot has been done, but a lot more needs to be done, and to get the word out. And I'm surprised, like my sister said, how many people don't know about it. I don't know how we do that in this day and age that people don't know. So there's a lot has been done, a lot more to do.
Anything that you would want to tell anyone that's watching this now that's for the first time is hearing it from not the author, not the expert, but two beautiful women who follow this and have a normal life outside. They're not just dedicated to science. On what you want to tell them?
Well, when I ask people, have you heard of the Shroud of Turin? And I ask people this question a lot. I'm amazed at how many people have heard of it, but sort of like they've heard of the Loch Ness Monster. They vaguely familiar with it, but they just really don't have an idea of the import of this shroud. And because I honestly believe that the Shroud provides us with evidence, not only of the existence of the historical Jesus, because some people doubt that. They say that the Bible's a fairy tale. Not only that there was a historical Jesus, but that he was crucified exactly as depicted in Scripture, and that he resurrected. All of that is evidenced on this cloth. And there was a physicist from Sweden who said, she has since passed on, but it was in a documentary that I saw a few years ago. She said if we really understood how that image was formed on that shroud, we would be able to prove how the universe was formed. It's that important. And for people like Mark Antonacci, who were agnostic, it can be a game changer to realize that we have evidence of the resurrection. And what does that mean to humanity? That's the message that I'm trying to get across.
Get the book, read it, tell your friends, buy them for gifts.
Perfect, thank you. That was great. You guys are pros.